Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. I don't know what time of the day it is as you are watching this, but I pray that this message touch you and meets you in a place of peace, everlasting peace, in a place of happiness, in a place of joy. I pray that God is moving tremendously in your life. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for watching my videos. How are you? I hope that you are doing well. But to get straight to my point of the video, I just, y'all, like, I just want to have a real conversation. No judgment, like, just really, like, just venting and just want to get some advice as, I received the advice that I, am sharing with you. But, have you ever felt yourself, like, get captivated in a place where, like, you just ask yourself, like, what are you doing here? Like, what is your purpose? Like, what is, you don't want to do anything. You just want to just lay there and just have a day where you just like, look, like, I just want to escape. I don't want to have any responsibilities to do today. I just literally want to just do what I want to do. Like, have you ever felt like that? And then on the other side of you, it's like, what you need to be doing. Like, that you need to get up, or that you need to clean, or that you have a job that needs to be done, but you're just captivated in this feeling of, that job can wait, or that can wait, or and then before you know it, like, you're in a place of where you feel insecure, you're in a place where you feel depressed, you're in a place where you feel drowsy, like you just feel blah, like you can't really like pinpoint like exactly how you feel, but you just know, like, you haven't been in this place in like a very, very long time, and you just feel drained. Like, you just feel like, oh, like, you got the munchies, or your cravings is everywhere. Like, you're not hungry, but you're craving this and you're craving that. And before you know it, like, you're sitting here and you're eating all this food and you're gaining all these calories. And then it just literally hits you like, girl, what are you doing? Or, sir, what are you doing? Like, have you ever felt like that? Like, to be honest with you, like, today was one of them days for me. Actually, before I even turned on the camera to record, I was literally like downstairs, and I have my best friend here with me with her with her daughter, which is my goddaughter, sorry. And I literally like was just, it was so much going on, like my bank account and, emails back to back, voicemails back to back from like, like bills or whatever. And I'm just like, man. So I remember getting up, and at this point, like, before I got up, I was starting to fall into like a depression. I was starting to fall into like a place where I was just like literally basically feeling like, is things ever going to get better? Was this a mistake of leaving your job? And like I said, real conversation, and because remember, like I said, at the end of the day, no matter where you are, no matter what journey you're on, you're always going to be a human. So I remember getting up and I'm like, nope, like, so I go to the bathroom downstairs and I close the door, and I'm literally in there and I'm praying, and I'm like, Lord, I just pray that you just touch my mind, my spirit, my emotions. God, help me come up with the finances, allow me to have the people that, allow me to place the people on my mind that you need for me to like reach out to ask for help. Because let's be honest, you can't ask everybody for help, but just basically making sure that I'm in his will, but just inviting him in this tight spot, because that's literally what it is. It's like a tight spot. And I was just like, God, like, I just need you to help me, Lord. And in Jesus' name I pray, amen. Not to go too deep into my prayer, because everybody prayers is personal. But I remember going back, sitting back down after the prayer, and it just like, even after like, you know how they say, like, when you pray, you give it to God, you leave it alone, like, you don't worry about it, you don't stress about it, and but sometimes that happens, and then sometimes it's like you say the prayer and you feel the prayer. It's like, that hit my soul. Like, yeah, I said everything I need to say. And then you go back and you sit down and you get back to, like, moving. And it's like, it's still there. Like, that was the moment that I was in. Like, I went back to sit back down after coming out the bathroom, and it was still there. And I remember looking over to my friend and asking her, like, do you want to watch that sermon from last night? And she was like, yeah, and then, like, God hit me and said, no, watch Sarah Jakes' A Tight Spot. Because I remember seeing it in my YouTube browser history. And I was like, okay. I said, no, friend, never mind. Like, I'm going to turn on A Tight Spot by Sarah. So I turned it on, and I was just sitting down there, and I was just watching it, and everything that she was saying, oh my God, y'all, like, just touched me. And I just remember the Lord, like, I just remember, like, his voice just speaking to me, like, captivating me, literally in that moment, like, captivating my mind, captivating my whole body. And he was just telling me, he was like, you can't give up. He was like, I didn't bring you here for you to get tired on me. I didn't bring you here. I didn't bring you to this place, this space that you're in for you to get lazy on me. Like, you're being lazy. I need you to not be lazy, And so I'm listening to him, and he was telling me, go record, because, like I told y'all, like, God spoke to me loud and clear about, my YouTube channel. And so I was just like, okay, so I'm sitting there, and I'm like, he literally has me, mind, body, and spirit, like, captivated. And I'm listening to her. And so 30 minutes in, y'all, I just, like, pressed pause, and I looked at my best friend. And I said, I'm going upstairs to record. And before I even started recording, like, I remember just sitting here, just talking to him, and just basically, like, just, allowing his spirit to, like, overtake me, to captivate me, just like how he did downstairs. And literally, like, before, like, I started recording, like, he was telling me, he was like, speak to my people about, like, not getting lazy. Speak to my people about when you know that there's a job that you need to do, to stay focused. Even when things get hard, even when, it's like, man, okay, so I did this, God, and then now this happened, even when it seems like so chaotic, and it seems so stressful, and it seems so like, look, this ain't going the way, I was thinking that it was going to go, or it's not going the way I thought it was going to go. Like, I just hear God telling me the same thing that he told me I'm going to tell you, is to not allow yourself to get lazy, because sometimes we can allow laziness to captivate us. And sometimes also, as we're in the laziness, when you know that God has called you to do something, God won't allow you to get lazy. Like, he will literally allow chaos to come in and sweep you up out of that stump, or that funk, or that feeling, or that laziness that you are in. He will literally cause things to rupture in what you so-called calm. And, before you know it, like, you're so disturbed, and like so off balance and off track with what he has called you to do. And so if God has called you to do something, if you know that you have a job, if you know that you need to do something, and you know that the Lord had told you, like, this is what you have to do, this is what you have to stay focused on, I want to challenge you, and I want to tell you to stay focused. Don't allow anything to get you off track. And it's not even like, it's really easier said than done, because sometimes we get off track before we even realize it. But basically what I'm telling you is to stay on course, stay on track, stay on the schedule that God has provided to you. And don't be hard on yourself, but really, like, make that a priority. Like, make what he has told you a priority, to where it sits, like, in the forefront of your mind, to where you don't like basically get off track. Because today, y'all, like, I really feel like that God allowed, like, you know, the emails and, you know, my bank account like information to pop up for me to say, look, like, for him to tell me, like, look, you're distracted, you're sitting here doing what I'm not calling you to do. You're just sitting here, you're eating all this food, you're you know, having all these cravings, you're laying on the couch, and although that's fine, but when you are called, like, it's fine to a certain extent, but when you are called to do a job by God, like, God doesn't allow you to get distracted. He doesn't allow you to stay off course for too long. And sometimes, like I said, like, we don't even know that we're off course, because like yesterday I didn't record, but Tuesday I did. Yesterday I didn't record. Okay, I just want to make sure. Today's Thursday. Yesterday was Wednesday. Okay, yesterday I didn't record, but Tuesday I did. And Tuesday I also had my time with him, and then Monday I had my time with him too, but I didn't record on Monday. And so it was just like, basically, like, God, like, allowed me to reflect, like, girl, like, remember what I told you, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like, those are your record days. And have you been doing that this week? No, you have not. Like, you've been doing your own thing. Like, yes, you've been coming to me. Yes, you've been, you know, like, praying to me, and you've been asking me for help, and you've been seeking my face and my, you know, in me, but you have not been doing your job that I call you to do. So I just, like, basically just want to let y'all know, like, stay the course. Stay the course, and don't allow your circumstances to get you to feel like, oh, you know, this is not going to get better. Oh, you know, like, I'm stuck, or, oh, you know, like, this is the end, because it's not, you know. And I just basically wanted to, I'm not mimicking what I said in my last video, but basically, like, it's still in the same, like, category, to not allow yourself to feel like, you know, things are not going to get better, because they are. But also make sure that you are focused. Make sure that you don't allow anything to get you unfocused. Like, even if you have company, or even if you are in a different state, or in a different, like, you're not at home, but you're at a family member house. Like, if you know that God has called you to do something, if you know that God has called you, like, hey, this is your purpose, I need you to do this these days, then you make sure that you make time for that. Because anybody that loves you, anybody that cares for you, they're going to be like, look, you know, you go do your thing, we'll be downstairs, or we'll be right here, you know. And, excuse me, don't allow yourself to rush in it either. Like, literally take your time, like, because this is your purpose. And anything that's your, like, anything that God has told you is your purpose, that's what you're supposed to enjoy doing. And I'm being honest, like I said, like, before I even started recording, I said, I just want to have a real conversation. Like, I literally just spoke to y'all like y'all are my friends, which y'all are, you know what I'm saying? So I literally just poured out, excuse me for spitting, I know nobody's in the room with me, but I literally, like, just poured out and just started, like, venting, because, you know, your girl was feeling like overwhelmed. I was feeling insecure. I was feeling depressed. Like, I started coming into this, like, don't, you know, like, and God, like, what's so beautiful about God is, like, he will literally come down and pick you up, you know. And it's so important to make sure that you keep what he has given you on the forefront of your mind, no matter who comes around, no matter who goes, no matter where you are. Like, always make time to do what he has called you to do. And I'm actually preaching to the choir. Like, I'm actually speaking to myself when I say these things too, because a lot of the times we feel like, you know, not necessarily that it can wait, but a lot of the times we get so excited and we get so wrapped into, like, having company, that we don't realize that, hey, you know, like, you're not doing what God has called you to do. You're not doing your job. Like, yes, I want you to be happy that I've allowed this person to be in your space, or that I've allowed you to go and visit this person, but I still need you to be doing your job, you know, because there's promises in your job. There's promises in your purpose. And when God calls you to something, he's not going to just give you something empty-handed. Like, it's purpose in there. It's when he's called you to do your purpose, There's his glory is in there, promises are in there, and you have to put in the work to be able to receive that joy, that those promises, those, like just when you get to when God leads you to the promised land, we think, oh, I'm finally here, like I don't have to work hard no more. Like, no, like you gotta dig. You gotta dig for these promises, honey. And like God did not call you to this promised land for you to just sit here and just be like, oh, feed me grapes or feed me strawberries. Like, no, like, yes, he's brought you to the promised land because of your hard work. But when you get to the promised land, you're not going to be doing as much hard work as you did to get there, but you're still going to work. You're still going to have to dig up the promises. You cannot get lazy. And another thing like that I want to tell y'all too is like when God called you to your purpose, treat it like how you treated that 9 to 5. Now I'm really preaching to the choir because that's something that I've got to keep installing in myself and keep reminding myself. Girl, if you was working at the bank, honey, you wouldn't be able to just be in there on them people's clock and be like, I'm just gonna sit here. Y'all can take care of the customers. Like, no, like I still had a job to do. Like, no matter with me, no matter with it being dead or not, like they didn't want us to just be sitting around twiddling our thumbs. It was stuff that we could have been studying to learn more about new accounts. It was, stuff that we could have been studying to learn more about the credit card offers that we have, and the queue up conversations and the open-ended conversation. Like, it was so much things that we could have been doing that was there for us to do, was there for me to do. And, so that's why it was so important that they were telling me, like, y'all don't just be like, just in here, just riding the clock, like just chitter-chatting it up, like, and so that's exactly how I have to treat my YouTube, like my job for my YouTube, because this is now my full-time job, and it's not just a job, but it's my purpose. It's my calling that God has brought me to. So yeah, like I have to treat it like this is my high priority, the same way I was showing up at the bank is the same way I'm going to be showing up on here. And so it's just important that we remember like that, because anything that God calls us to, why can't we treat that just as well as we treat it like a 9 to 5 job? You know what I mean? And so I just want to, place that on y'all mind. And I want you to ask yourself, like, okay, am I really showing up the way I need to be showing up for what God has called me to do, for what God has told me that my full-time job is now, for what God has told me my purpose is? Like, am I putting my all in it? Am I showing up with the proper mindset or the proper, like, heart posture? Is this my priority? Or is this something that I'm just like, yeah, that can be done later, or yeah, like, so it's just something for us to like really keep on our mind and to ask ourselves, because when we get lazy, that's when God is like, okay, what are you doing? Just remember, he's keeping track of everything. And, I don't want anyone, including myself, but I don't want anyone to take this as, oh, I got to slave for God. Like, no, it's not slavery, but I do want you to know that God keeps track of what you do. He keeps track of how you show up. He keeps track of what you say. He keeps track of how your heart posture is. He keeps track of it all. And that determines your blessings and your rewards. So it's not saying that you're slaving for him, but if I'm being honest, like, if you can show up for others in a hi, I'm here, I love you, then you can do the same thing for God, and so that's just basically like what my point is on that. But yeah, like, it's just amazing how I feel so much better after like literally like saying this to y'all. But yeah. So that's all that I have for today, but I love y'all. May the Lord continue to be with y'all. May he bless y'all continuously, mentally, physically, emotionally, and may you take this into consideration. I pray that it blesses you. I pray that, you rewatch this as many times as you need to, just to make sure that you're really like measuring up, like how you show up for God, how you show up for, what he's called you to do, for your assignments that he tell you to do, for your purpose that he, has called you to. Like, how are you showing up? How are you showing up? And are you doing it in a way that you enjoy it, or are you being lazy? And that's just having a real conversation with yourself. I'm not saying that you are. I know for me, you know, honey, like I definitely was being lazy today. And that's why God told me to bring my butt up here and do exactly what I'm doing now. So with that being said, I just want to ask you, how are you showing up? How are you showing up? But I love y'all, and I will see you in the next video. Love you. Bye.